Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, join me, Rob McConnell, as together we'll investigate the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology here on the X-Zone Radio TV show on XZBN and the X-Zone TV channel on Simul TV. Since 1990, the X-Zone Radio TV show has been the place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. Together, we'll investigate UFOs, aliens, ghosts, Bigfoot, psychic phenomenon, lake monsters, conspiracy theories, government cover-ups, the truth embargo, alien abductions, ESP, haunted locations from around the world, and so much more. With over 28 years of broadcasting and more than 4,500 individual guests, the X-Zone is truly a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality, as evidenced by the credibility, integrity, and professionalism of the guests that we bring to our international audience. If you have seen a UFO, had a close encounter, seen a ghost, Bigfoot, lake monster, or a story that you would like to share or have investigated, contact me, Rob McConnell, by sending me your email to xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, or you can call toll-free 1-800-610-7035, extension 143, and on Skype, X-Zone Radio TV. For more information on the X-Zone Radio TV show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, visit www.xzoneradiotv.com or www.xzonetvchannel.com or simultv.com and xzbn.net. Until next we meet here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, always remember, X-Zone Nation, keep your eyes to the sky and your heart in the light. Welcome to Mission Evolution Radio Show with Gwilda Wiyaka, bringing together today's leading experts to uncover ever-deepening spiritual truths and the latest scientific developments in support of the evolution of humankind. For more information on Mission Evolution Radio with Gwilda Wiyaka, visit www.missionevolution.org. And now, here's the host of Mission Evolution, Miss Gwilda Wiyaka.
Hello, dear friends. This is Mission Evolution Radio Show, where we share innovative thoughts with today's leading scientific and esoteric experts supporting the path to unity and enlightenment. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka. This hour we'll be exploring Reclaiming the Wise Ones, Evolution of Elderhood. I'm not sure how it happened, but over the ages, we've been robbed of one of our greatest treasures, the wisdom of our elders. In the past, entire tribes and clans would gather around the fire, listening to their treasured and revered elders share the experiences of a lifetime. Now, our latest, greatest, newer the better throwaway society gathers around a television or sinks into their individual noses into a cell phone to the exclusion of all around them. As a result, the elders are disregarded, and that valuable custom has been mostly lost. How can we reclaim the wisdom of our elders? Is it up to the young ones to seek it out, or are the elders being called to redefine their purpose, remain involved, and refuse to be forgotten? With us this hour to explore the evolution of elderhood is Ron Pevny, author of Conscious Living, Conscious Aging. Embrace and savor your next chapter. For 40 years, Ron has been dedicated to assisting people in negotiating life transitions as they create lives of purpose and passion. He's the founder-director of the Center for Conscious Elderly, based in Durango, Colorado, and is a certified saging leader. Ron has presented many programs over the past 15 years for people who hear the call to age consciously. His website, centerforconsciouselderly.com. Ron, thank you for joining us on Mission Evolution.
Well, thank you, Gwilda. It's an honor to be with you today.
I'm so glad you're here. What is a certified saging elder? A leader, excuse me.
Well, one of the pioneering organizations in helping to create an empowering vision for aging in today's world is Saging International. That's SAGE-ING.org. And the organization is Saging International. And their work is based on the pioneering work of Rabbi Zalman Schachter Shalomi, who, along with Ram Dass and a few others 20 years ago, is credited with basically starting the conscious aging movement. I've been involved with Saging International for quite a few years in various capacities. I really believe in what they're doing, and I support them. And I became a certified saging leader as a result of that involvement. They have a year-long training program that helps to prepare people to take the message of conscious eldering. They call it saging into the world. And so part of my preparation for the work that I do through the Center for Conscious Eldering is grounded in what I have learned from Saging International and in my experiences as a certified saging leader with that organization.
How did you first become interested in life transitions and elderhood?
Well, I first became interested in life transitions a long time ago, probably back in about 1979, I think it was, that I really found, after a dark night of deep searching and no clarity, I finally found what I was so urgently looking for, and that was my sense of calling. And that calling was to help people move through life transitions by helping them enact rites of passage. And I had the good fortune to study with and apprentice with Stephen Foster and Meredith Little, who in many ways are the people who brought rites of passage back to our modern non-native world. And so I began way back then offering wilderness rite of passage experiences to help people move through life transitions and to grow and be empowered by doing so. And then fast forward a bunch of years, and about 17 or 18 years ago, a couple of wise elders, about 15 years more elder than me, and certainly I felt wiser than me, asked me if I would join them in creating a rite of passage program to help usher people into elderhood. And so I joined with Ann Roberts and Wes Burwell, and we created a program called Choosing Conscious Elderhood that at that time took place in the wilderness as a wilderness vision quest for basically for people over 60. I discovered as the years went by that truly was my work. Aging is very much on my radar screen as I've come to accept that I am aging, and I see the challenges and opportunities of that. And now I'm devoting my energies as completely and passionately as I can through the work of my Center for Conscious Eldering to help people move through and grow through that big transition between midlife adulthood and that life stage, that developmental stage that I and others call elderhood.
Why do you think we as a society got away from taking advantage of elder wisdom and start viewing our elders as something to be surplused?
Well, I think there are a lot of reasons for that, but one of the reasons I believe is that as the so-called modern world became more and more secularized, we more and more have moved away from some of those deeper understandings of what constitutes real value in human beings. And as we became more secularized, I think we tend to it's almost like we tend to view people like the machines that have come to dominate our lives. And these machines, when they're young and new, they function beautifully to accomplish whatever they're supposed to accomplish. And but then as they get older, they tend to break down, and we just replace them. So we value newness. We value constant innovation. And I think we have come to see ourselves in the same way. As we get older, rather than somehow growing in a new way, somehow growing spiritually and growing into the kind of wholeness that's possible for us as human beings, as we get older, we're not able to contribute to the economy in the same way that maybe younger people were able to. We're seen as less valuable, our wisdom is seen as less valuable. If we don't know and understand, for instance, technology in the same way young people do, by and large, we are seen as not having as much value for our society.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, as you and I both know, that is such a shame, because the value that older adults can bring to our society and to the world is absolutely immense.
What effect have you seen that this trend has had towards devaluing our elders? What effect has this had on society as a whole?
Well, throughout most of history as we know it, throughout most of human history, there has been a meaningful and an important role for people of every age, people of every developmental stage in their community. It's never been the case that a whole group of people have somehow been devalued and not had a meaningful role and haven't been expected to play a meaningful role in their culture. And here we are in the world we live in today, where we have tens of millions, and we've all heard the statistic, 10,000 baby boomers a day are turning 65, tens of millions of people in the United States and in the so-called developed world, where there is not an honored role, there is not an expectation of service and contribution and growth. All these people not able to contribute all the wisdom and skills that have been developed over a lifetime, because there is no role for them to play to do this. And my God, with the problems that our world is facing these days, we need the wisdom and skills of everybody. And I think in particular there's a very valuable place for the particular wisdom that can only come from a long life and come from that process of really seeking to grow and to grow into wholeness. Certain qualities that elders can bring to the world that younger people can't, just because they haven't lived long enough.
And things are changing out there for sure. But how can we expect to move forward if we can't pay attention to where we've been? And the elders hold that, don't they?
Yeah, that is right. That is right. And you're right. You're right, Gwilda. Things are beginning to change. That is so encouraging. I think that slowly but surely we're moving toward a tipping point where we're going to recognize that we need to honor the gifts and the wisdom and contribution of elders. And we're seeing that, there are so many books coming out and so many TED Talks and so many articles and so many workshops and retreats that are all working to change this disempowering paradigm of aging that has sort of ruled for the last several generations. I have a lot of hope that in the way that other the tipping points are being reached in so many different aspects of our world culturally. I think that's the case too.
We'll have to look at these aspects on the other side of a commercial break. Ron and I will return shortly, so don't go away. You're listening to the Mission Evolution Radio Show, coming to you on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net. It's hard to listen to the news without realizing we're living in volatile, unprecedented times. Yet never has there been such an opportunity to transform the human condition. As old structures fail, where can we find the guidance to co-create a better way? Find Your Path Home is an ever-evolving, leading-edge information, education, and healing resource center designed to support and guide you on your path to unity and enlightenment. Based on sound principles employed by shamans worldwide, we provide techniques that can support you through the current transitions, offering online shamanic classes, international long-distance shamanic healing sessions, complimentary Mission Evolution radio episodes and Stairway to Heaven TV vignettes, seminars, retreats, and much more. All of this can be found on findyourpathhome.com.
So I was watching the X Zone TV channel last night when I was abducted by aliens, and they kept repeating to me over and over again, simultv.com, simultv.com.
What's simultv.com?
That's what I asked them. They had it written on the side of their UFO.
How do you spell that?
UFO.
No, I mean simultv.com.
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 Right. simultv.com.
Interesting that you were abducted by aliens in a simultv.com UFO last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I remember now last night I was awakened from a deep sleep. My great-grandmother was standing there. She said she'd come from the hereafter to tell me about simultv.com. She even spelled it out for me. simultv.com, sonny boy.
simultv.com.
simultv.com, sonny boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Guys, you'll never guess what my psychic guru just told me.
simultv.com.
Exactly. Are you guys psychic too?
Of course.
We all know about simultv.com. simultv.com.
Path Home Shamanic Art School proudly presents the Gathering of Shaman 2019 Fall Retreat, Manifestation Samhain. Join me, certified shamanic instructor Gwilda Wiyaka, in the magnificent Colorado Mountains this November 2nd and 3rd for a life-changing event. Participate in unique teachings and ceremonies that'll put the power and magic of shamanic manifestation into your hands. Sit in circle with like-minded individuals, sharing group energy and the power it generates. Classes will be held in a facility next to the beautiful, majestic Arkansas River, further empowering the experience. Space is limited, so reserve your spot today. For more information, visit findyourpathhome.com or email touchin@findyourpathhome.com. Hello again. This is Mission Evolution Radio Show, missionevolution.org. We're dedicated to unification and evolution of consciousness. Our guest this hour is Ron Pevny. His website, centerforconsciouseldering.com. Ron, it occurs to me that everybody dreads aging because it's not honored anymore. And then when we find ourselves in the horrible situation, oh my goodness, we're 60 and over, a lot of people just kind of give up and lose their passion. Are you seeing this?
Oh, yeah, that is definitely the case. That's definitely the case. And, there have been various studies done by organizations like AARP and other organizations that work with older adults that have really studied the viewpoints and the attitudes about aging that predominate in our society. And they find that the majority of Americans, for instance, view aging as primarily defined by diminishment and decline and loss and ever-increasing irrelevance. Mm-hmm. And that is so sad. Sure, there's going to be diminishment and decline and loss. But the other side of that coin is that as we lose certain abilities, there are opportunities for other kinds of growth to emerge, and that's what this developmental stage called elderhood is about. There's opportunities for us to deepen our ability to relate to others emotionally, deepen our ability to see the bigger picture, and to help our society to understand how things fit together and what's needed so that we can create a world and leave a world for our descendants that's going to be habitable and be healthy. There's opportunities for spiritual growth that are part and parcel of the life stage of elderhood. There's opportunities for mentoring and teaching and making a difference in so many different ways, even as we suffer losses and declines. And I think that's the reason that there is we're seeing all around us, as I mentioned earlier, this upswell of a new paradigm of aging emerging from so many different quarters, because millions and millions of us, especially baby boomers who have always been in the forefront of cultural change, don't want to just fade into irrelevance. We want to make a difference. We want to thrive. We want to grow. I'm really encouraged by what I see happening now.
Well, that being the case, what is conscious eldering? What does that look like?
Conscious eldering, as I see it, is aging with intention and purpose rather than just allowing ourselves to drift into getting old. And, I think that most people, if I ask your listeners, think of the word old and what comes up for you, and think of the word elder and what comes up. And for so many people, something about the word elder is something archetypal that is powerful there. It's something that we know deep in our guts and our psyches. It's something that wants to emerge in us as we age, something we want to aspire to, something that has honor and meaning and purpose. Conscious eldering is an understanding and a view of aging that recognizes that this kind of growth and purpose and meaning is possible, and it takes work. It's not just going to happen just because we get wrinkles and gray hair. It's something that requires commitment. It's a process of growth, and growth is something that always takes work, always requires us to stretch beyond our perceived limits and comfort zones. But conscious eldering is a path toward reaching our wholeness and our potential as we age.
I think when I think of elder versus old, elder kind of brings to mind someone that has a life well lived, and they have gained the knowledge from doing that. However, a lot of us have a lot of regret and don't necessarily feel that we have lived our life as well as we would like to once we start, reaching 60 and beyond. How can we can transmute that, can't we? How do we do that?
We can indeed transmute that. And I think that's one of the tasks, the challenges, and the opportunities of moving into the stage of elderhood is to transmute that. Yes, indeed, it's the case that we have all made mistakes. We have all had shortcomings. We all have things that we can regret. We have a choice as to whether we're going to hang on to those regrets and those self-recriminations and the resentments we hold toward others or ourselves, the disempowering stories we tell ourselves. We have a choice as to whether we could hold on to those, or whether we're willing to let them go, and to begin to tell us a story that can empower us as we age. Like, for instance, if we take a look at certain things we have done or not done in our past that we view as real mistakes, or that really caused us pain, or that caused others pain. Yes, it may be true. It caused us pain, caused others pain. Maybe we could have done differently. But we can adopt the perspective that all these experiences were part of our own heroes and heroines' journey, our journey of growth. And we can learn from them, and we could learn from mistakes we made. We could see how that we could use those as tools for our growth and for the development of the kind of wisdom that as elders then we could share with younger people. Because wisdom isn't something that just happens just because we've had a bunch of experiences and gotten old. Wisdom is something that happens as we've worked with the experiences, we've seen what we have learned, how we have grown through them, and then we're able to communicate that to younger people who haven't had the wealth of experience we have had.
Well, this kind of brings me to the next angle. You speak of a life review regarding aging consciously. Would you go into that a little bit for us?
There's a very natural tendency in all of us, I think, as we get into our 60s, 70s, start to move out of midlife adulthood, a tendency to be thinking about the past, reflecting about the past. It's just going to come up naturally. But oftentimes in our busyness, the need to constantly be active, constantly be doing, and with all the noise we surround ourselves with externally and internally, we don't give ourselves the opportunity to really take a look at the past and see what we have learned, what we need to let go of that's not going to serve us moving forward, and what we really do need to take with us moving forward. And so we could support this natural tendency toward introspection by doing various kinds of life review type of things in a conscious way. You know, like one example that a lot of people use is over a period of time, they decide that they're going to take a look at their life perhaps in 7 or 10 year segments, and look at each segment and ask themselves questions and write about what's the main thing I learned? Who were the biggest influences during that particular time in my life? What were the most meaningful experiences? What brought me the most joy? You know, what brought me the most sorrow during that time? To take a look at our lives in this whole way, we gradually begin to see our life not just as a bunch of stuff that happened randomly, but there are patterns there. There are certain things that throughout our lives we've had experiences that have helped us to learn these particular things, and that's part of the growth and the wisdom we could take into elderhood.
But we don't if we don't take the effort and we just live in regret and try to forget about it, then all that wisdom and all that richness is just left behind in regret, isn't it?
That's right. That's right. And the same with our gifts. For a whole lot of people, you know, I've seen a lot of older people, because I did a lot of oral history work for a while with older adults in our community. A lot of older people, as they age and are no longer in their careers and no longer, you know, being seen as relevant, a lot of older people forget the strengths and the wisdom and the gifts and the talents that have been part of their life. And life review is a way, as we age, to really get in touch with some of that nobility and that strength that we had, and to realize that that's still in us, and we could still tap that in our elder years with whatever challenges and with the opportunities that we have.
I mean, if it's nothing more than saying, well, that didn't go well for me, you might want to relook at approaching that yourself to our younger people. If we don't claim and transmute our mistakes as we view them, we don't have that as a tool, do we?
That's right. That's right. And if we don't have the willingness and make the effort to forgive, for instance, us and others, that's going to be just like a ball and chain that hangs around our neck as we move into our later years, sapping our energy.
And doesn't gratitude fit in there too?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Doesn't gratitude fit in there too? If you can let go of the regret, then you can learn to be grateful, and then you own it.
Yes, indeed. Gratitude is so critical, I think, in freeing up our energy to move into the fullness of elderhood rather than have our energy somehow stuck in the past. And I think the reason a whole lot of people as they age, you know, retirement age and above, who seem to lose motivation and lose energy, lose it because their energy is still stuck in the past. It hasn't been processed. They're carrying around this ball and chain.
Well, we're going to have to address the ball and chain after another quick pause. Ron and I will return to our discussion shortly, so you stay right there. This is the Mission Evolution Radio Show. We're coming to you on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net.
Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, join me, Rob McConnell, as together we'll investigate the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology here on the X-Zone Radio TV show on XZBN and the X-Zone TV channel on Simul TV. Since 1990, the X-Zone Radio TV show has been the place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. Together, we'll investigate UFOs, aliens, ghosts, Bigfoot, psychic phenomenon, lake monsters, conspiracy theories, government cover-ups, the truth embargo, alien abductions, ESP, haunted locations from around the world, and so much more. With over 28 years of broadcasting and more than 4,500 individual guests, the X Zone is truly a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality, as evidenced by the credibility, integrity, and professionalism of the guests that we bring to our international audience. If you have seen a UFO, had a close encounter, seen a ghost, Bigfoot, lake monster, or a story that you would like to share or have investigated, contact me, Rob McConnell, by sending me your email to xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, or you can call toll-free 1-800-610-7035, extension 143, and on Skype, X Zone Radio TV. For more information on the X Zone Radio TV show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, visit www.xzoneradiotv.com or www.xzonetvchannel.com or simultv.com and xzbn.net. Until next we meet here in the X Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, always remember, X Zone Nation, keep your eyes to the sky and your heart in the light.
Welcome back. This is the Mission Evolution Radio Show, missionevolution.org, bringing leading-edge information supporting the path to enlightenment. We're speaking with Ron Pevny, his website, centerforconsciouselderling.com. Ron, what are life transitions? Let's go into that a little bit.
A life transition is any significant change that happens in our lives, where we know that somehow we are not and we cannot continue to be who we have been, and something else wants to emerge. We're not quite there yet, and the transition is that change from one life status to another. And there's certain... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it seems like in every indigenous culture, there was a lot of attention was given to ceremonially helping people go through these transitions, and we've kind of gotten away from that. What effect do you think that's having on us?
Oh, I think that's having a hugely detrimental effect, because as we move from one stage of life to another, for instance, youth into early adulthood, or midlife adulthood into elderhood. As we move through one life stage to another, there are changes that want to happen inside of us, inside of our psyches. And rites of passage throughout history have always been various cultures' ways of helping us to recognize what these changes are that need to happen, help us prepare for these changes, help move us through them, help empower us, and give us strength as we move into the next stage that wants to emerge. And if you don't have meaningful rites of passage, you don't have recognition of the need for support in moving through these kind of changes, then people, as is so often the case in the modern world, just kind of blunder through life, sort of moving forward, but in many ways staying stuck, at least emotionally and internally, where they were. And I think that's why there are so many adults in our society who are really still adolescents or kids, and I think that's why there are so many people, even with gray hair, who have never really grown out of childhood or youth because they have never developed internally. They've never had support in doing this.
Well, not only don't we get support from the outside, but what about everybody in the community acknowledging the transition? Because oftentimes we stay in our family of origin patterning. You see people go back to their family of origin and all of a sudden they become childlike because the family itself has not honored the person changing positions or ages or functions. So isn't this affecting us on all levels?
Yeah, it is affecting us on all levels, and to our great detriment.
It's sad to watch. And, the beautiful ceremonies and rites of passage. We have a few, we have graduate from high school or we get married, but boy, they're just not as many as they used to be.
No, and you have to think about what the essence of a true rite of passage is. In I guess what you might call traditional rites of passage, it has always involved putting a person in a situation where there is real challenge, where they really, really have to dig deep to find those new qualities in themselves, those new strengths that will help to move them into the next life stage. You always think of the image of the Native American young person going up on the mountaintop for 3 days. I mean, that pushed them to the limit and required them to dig deep. And they would emerge from that with having found a whole new sense of strength, having gone through that ordeal or initiation. And you take a look at what we call rites of passage these days, and my goodness, they don't require us to dig deep. I remember as a young man, 12, 13 years old, undergoing confirmation, in the Catholic Church. That was my religious upbringing. And that was supposed to be a rite of passage. But all it really was memorizing a few things from the catechism, and then the bishop coming and tapping me on the cheek and imbuing me with various spiritual qualities. It didn't require me in any way to dig deep. It was not, as I see it, a true rite of passage. It was meaningful, and it was the best we have in our society, but I don't think it's enough to take us to those inner depths where we need to go to find strength and purpose and spiritual connection to move us into our next chapters.
Do you think going, facing those challenges and going into those inner depths kind of initiates a life review from up to that point and on?
Yeah, that's all part of that process. And in traditional rites of passage, a lot of the life review type of things kind of happened in preparation before, for instance, a young person went up on the mountaintop or went in Australia, went on their walkabout. The elders prepared the young people. They helped them to do those kind of things that in many ways conscious eldering is about, to look at their lives up to that point, to see what strengths they've gained, prepare to let go. And you have to let go of being a kid, for instance, and emotionally, young people had to be willing to let go of that so they could move into adulthood. And so that's an important part of the role of elders, is to help initiate young people and prepare them to learn how to move through the transitions of their lives.
And you have to move through them yourself before you can be of any use in that regard.
Indeed.
Yeah. So what is life purpose? Let's play with life purpose for a little while.
Well, I've had the good fortune to talk with and to interview various people who study healthy longevity around the world. What makes for long lives and healthy lives. And they all say that at the top of their list is having a strong sense of purpose. And by purpose, what's meant is one definition is a reason for getting up in the morning that is bigger than just your own comfort and security.
Okay.
Something to aim for, something to apply our energies toward, something that is truly meaningful to us, but that also makes a difference in the world around us. I think purpose makes when I look at those people that I really look up to as models for elderhood, the kind of elderhood that I aspire to, these people all have a sense of purpose. They all want to serve. They want to make a difference. They apply their energies toward that. They are not just living just for themselves and their own comfort. And I think one of the real losses in the situation we're in now is there's this whole mindset that we are of service. However, we're of service while we're doing our careers. But when we're done with that, then it's our time just to live for us. It's now our time to just enjoy. And certainly it's important that we enjoy as we age. But that's not going to keep us healthy physically or emotionally or spiritually if we're just living for us. It's having a purpose of how we're going to somehow use our unique talents and gifts and energies to make a positive difference in the world. I think it is absolutely critical toward aging well.
If we, by the way the society has taught us at this point, you do your career, you probably hate it by the end of it, you retire, and then you get to, live for you. But that doesn't take too long to feel pretty shallow, and then people kind of start to deteriorate around that. Have you seen that? And is that why you're saying purpose is so important?
Yes, I have seen that, and that's what I constantly hear from all those people whose wisdom I really appreciate and have helped to guide me as I've gotten clear on what conscious eldering is. Purpose is absolutely necessary for well-being, and there are studies. Your listeners can maybe just do a little Googling on this, but there are studies that show that those who have a strong sense of purpose live longer, are physically healthier, have a greatly reduced risk of developing Alzheimer's, have far less depression and anxiety. Having a sense of purpose is like the most valuable asset we can have if we want to age well in every aspect of our being.
How can we find our purpose, though?
Well, I think we need to get clear, a little bit more clear in a definition of purpose. I think a lot of people have the idea that purpose is, some grand crusade or mission that we've got that's only ours. And I think for many of us that is the case, that there is a special way that's uniquely ours that we can make a difference in the world. But if we don't have a sense of what that is, one really powerful mindset that we can create. And I got this from maybe some of your listeners, and you are familiar with Richard Leider, Leider, who's written many books on purpose and is considered the guru of purpose. Richard said the mindset that helps set the stage for finding our unique expressions of our gifts. The mindset is one of having our primary commitment each day, our primary motivation be, today I am somehow going to grow and I am somehow going to give or serve.
Oh, we're going to take another commercial. We need to take another commercial break, Ron. I'm sorry. Ron and I will be back shortly, so don't leave us now. This is the Mission Evolution Radio Show on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net.
If you are looking for a safe, zero-calorie natural option to the harmful artificial sweeteners on the market today, Just Like Sugar is what you're looking for. Just Like Sugar is a wonderful natural alternative for those health-conscious people who choose a calorie-restricted diet with a great, pure, sweet flavor that tastes just like sugar. Just Like Sugar is a great natural option for people suffering from diabetes and may be useful in restricted diet programs where standard sugars are not allowed and does not cause a laxative effect of some other sweeteners. Just Like Sugar comprises a perfect blend of chicory root fiber, natural calcium, natural vitamin C, and Just Like Sugar's sweetness comes from the natural flavors from the peel of the orange. Just Like Sugar is a natural alternative to harmful artificial sweeteners and will change the way that you believe all natural sweetener products taste. Just Like Sugar is available at your local Whole Foods markets, Wild Oats markets, Henry's, Sun Harvest, and many other fine natural food stores in the U.S., Canada, and worldwide. They are here, and they've been here for thousands of years, making their presence known in the shadows. They might be seen by a lonely motorist on a deserted road late at night, or by a frightened and confused husband in the bedroom he is sharing with his wife. But who are they? What do they want? Why are they here? Perhaps most concerning, has the government been aware of their presence all along? The new book by rel-mar, UFO Disclosure, the 70-year cover-up exposed, delves into the world of UFOs. Can full disclosure be soon? Order now and receive a free hour and 37-minute DVD on the UFO phenomenon. UFOs are real. Get both the book and the DVD, a $40 value, for only $19.99. To order your book and DVD today, go to rel-marzulli.net. That's LAMARZULLI.net.
You have heard of the X Zone? Now watch it on Simul TV, plus 500 video games, live TV channels, free video on demand, worldwide, and more. Does this sound like tomorrow's television? Well, it is, but you can have it today, right now. It is Simul TV. Simul TV offers what the others only wish they could provide. 15 exclusive channels like X Zone, sci-fi, and horror. We are worldwide. No other provider offers that. 500 built-in video games. No need to have an extra expensive system. We have them included. Free video on demand. Live streaming events from around the world, interactive online network, and much more. Tomorrow's TV today. Simul TV. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. You can have Simul TV today. Sign up at simultv.com. Do it today.
Memorable dynamic presentations are a not-so-secret weapon in the business world. Do you have a powerful message that must be shared, but you haven't found a way to deliver that message? Do you want to be known as a top public speaker who gets amazing results? Are you ready to create and deliver your powerful message? Thomas Hides can help you create and deliver your speech to get the results you desire. Visit iconquality.com.
Did you expect your business to flourish, but instead it plateaued or didn't get off the ground yet? Would you like to achieve massive goals and discover new sources of income within your business? When you're ready to experience that type of success with fast results, Cindy Hendricks is the business coach for you. Her work with entrepreneurs and business owners has been life-changing. To get you and your business where you want to be, go to imaginemoresuccess.com.
Has the fear of public speaking stalled your business or personal life? What would you give to develop and maintain supreme confidence? Have an invaluable private program to always perform at your best. Imagine how you would feel. You can have all that and so much more today with Thomas Hides' life-changing course called Number One Fear Unleashed. Visit numberonefear.com and be liberated from your fear of public speaking.
Welcome back. This is Mission Evolution Radio Show, bringing together gifted people of service to the world. To suggest a topic or guest, email us, info@missionevolution.org. We're speaking with Ron Pevny. His website, centerforconsciouselderling.com. Ron, we were just getting into purpose and mindset, and that was getting pretty intriguing. Would you mind continuing with that?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. The mindset that helps us to live with purpose and keeps us open to finding what the best expressions are of our gifts, our own unique purpose. The mindset is one of service and growth, and having that be our primary motivation for each day. And if each day we're looking for opportunities, and there are plenty of them around, to somehow grow and to somehow serve, then we're living with purpose. And as we do that, if we pay attention, if we quiet down enough to really reflect on, okay, what that happened today somehow really seemed to bring me alive. What seemed to really spark something in me? What seemed to be asking me to engage more with it? Gradually, we'll find those things that really seem to have meaning for us, and we'll find we'll get more in touch with our specific gifts, those ways of giving those gifts that bring us most alive and that make a difference in the world.
Well, it sounds like we're talking about passion, aren't we? Like follow your passion and you find your purpose. But we tend to lose our passion as we age. How can we turn that one around?
I think a lot of us tend to lose our passion as we age, but I don't think that that's an inevitable result of aging. I think one of the best ways to approach this multifaceted topic of passion is to really is to say that each day there are things we do that sap our energy or drain our energy or basically kind of numb us out. And there are things we do or can do that really help us to feel alive, that really seem to feed the passion rather than draining the passion. And an important part of what we teach in our conscious eldering work is the importance of really paying attention to how each day we live and what do we do to feed our life energy, which is the energy of passion. What are those things we do that kind of just drain it or sap it or numb us, and how can we change them and let them go? Just one example, the people we hang out with. Do we spend a lot of our time with people who are real drains on our energy, which saps our passion? Or do we more and more spend our time with people who seem to bring us alive and bring out the best in us, which feeds our passion? And just one more quick example. Do we spend a lot of time watching over and over fear-inducing news programs that just drain us because fear drains passion? Or do we spend our time nourishing ourselves with experiences and images and books and films and poetry and music and whatever helps to feed our energy, to feed our passion? And so a good place to start, I think, is to take a look at what do we do that feeds us and what do we do that drains us every day.
You know, you speak of the importance of legacy in conscious aging. What do you mean by that?
By legacy, our legacy is the mark that we leave on the world, that we leave on others. What the world's going to remember about us having lived. And a lot of people, unfortunately, think that somehow our legacy, as people often understand the term, is something we create before we retire. And I firmly believe that there is a legacy of our elder years that can be incredibly rich. The way we touch others, the mark we leave on the world, the way our uniqueness is expressed in the world during these elder chapters, that can be incredibly important. David Brooks, the columnist, writes beautifully about what he calls resume virtues and eulogy virtues. And I think when I talk about legacy, I'm not talking about the stuff you can put on your resume nearly as much as the kind of things they're going to say in your eulogy. How did you touch people? What qualities did you bring forth in the world?
That eulogy, I love that piece because, this is Mission Evolution, right? So how does that eulogy, if we look at every day, how is our eulogy going to enhance the evolution of humankind? Can we transcend the being surplused and actually make a difference simply by having that mindset?
Yes, I definitely think we can. I firmly believe that each of us has embedded in us at the soul level, and I use the word soul, some people don't use that particular word, but at the deepest spiritual level of ourselves, each of us has unique gifts and qualities that we are called to give to this world. And part of our elderhood is to come to recognize what those gifts and qualities are and how we can best use them to make a difference in this world. Imagine if all of us were in touch with that as we age, and we were giving those gifts as fully as we can. Imagine the difference that would make in the world. Imagine if we are indeed agents for conscious evolution, then each of us is helping to support this greater evolution of humanity by giving these gifts that our soul, that wise spiritual part of us knows is our contribution to this larger evolution. And that's what, to me, is the essence of what elderhood is about, getting in touch with that inner knowing, with those gifts, and being committed to give them as best we can for as long as we can.
I know those gifts come from our years that we've lived, that we've collected, the experiences.
Yes, a lot of the wisdom about those gifts, how to give them, and some of them are just deeply embedded in us. Certain qualities of compassion and empathy and intuition and bigger picture vision. They're things I think that are embedded in us that they've been informed by our years up to now, but now they can kind of come to their ripeness because this is the time when they want to come forth as fully as possible. That's the gift of elderhood.
Are the elders being called to redefine their purpose, remain involved, and refuse to be forgotten?
Indeed. More and more people are feeling that, and that's why this paradigm is changing. So many people are feeling exactly what you just said.
I mean, it's not like we can expect the young ones to even know what they're missing at this point.
No, but, one of the gifts of wise elders is that they can help young people to see what are the most enduring and important values and help young people to grow, help young people to get in touch with their own unique gifts, help young people to move through life transitions, share our elder wisdom. And it's a two-way thing. It's not just that us elders are going to sit back and pontificate about how life should be, but younger people can energize us, they can teach us, they can show us so many important things. And I think a critical part of conscious eldering is intergenerational work between wise elders and younger, idealistic, energetic people, working together in various ways to learn to make a difference in the world together.
And therein lies the key to evolution, yes?
I believe so.
We have just about a minute left. How do you see the world changing should our elders become more involved and our younger people listen?
Our elders should indeed become more involved. And as we're committed to make a difference, to give our gifts, to live for more than just us, that's naturally going to find expression in becoming more involved. The critical thing is that it has to be done with balance, because one of the other callings of this elder part of life is to be more reflective, to be inward, to focus more on our inner life and our spiritual development. And so we each have to find our own balance where we're making a difference out there, but we're also honoring all these other needs for inwardness and for inner growth. And when young people see that and see elders living in this way, I think we're going to gradually change the way the whole society views aging. Young people need models of people who are aging really well and who are proud of it and who are making a difference in the world.
Yes, that example is huge. And if we consciously move through our life transitions, that gives them the reflection on how it can be done.
That's right. That's right.
It's an amazing time to be alive, isn't it, Ron?
I think it is maybe one of the most amazing times in human history, and I'm not just saying that myself. Many of those, like Barbara Marx Hubbard and others whose opinions I greatly value, say that this is a unique time in human history.
Absolutely.
The world is perched on a knife edge between collapse and transformation.
Well, as
and I
always,
think that elders have a lot to bring to that.
Amen. As always, time has flown, though, and we're out of it. Ron, thank you so much for coming on the show. Our guest this hour has been Ron Pevny, the author of Conscious Living, Conscious Aging, Embrace and Savor Your Next Chapter. His website, centerforconsciouselderling.com. For our amazing past episode collection, visit our website, www.missionevolution.org. This has been Mission Evolution Radio Show with Gwilda Wiyaka on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net. Join us next time as this mission continues, bringing information, resources, and support to our evolving world.